Hey there, the American Physicist Tournament, or USPT, is the national selection round of the International Physicist Tournament, or IPT. This year, the University of California, Berkeley, will be hosting USPT virtually on the first weekend of December. The problems have just been released, so now's a great time to head over to the official IPT website and check them out. When you do, you'll notice that there are 17 problems. And if any of them, or hopefully all of them, sound interesting to you, then you should form a team. Teams consist of between 4 and 6 people, and we recommend having 6 people on each team. That way, each person can focus on fewer problems, develop deeper and more complete solutions, and the team overall will benefit. Once you form a team, you have free rein. Address the problems however you see fit, and remember that no resource is off limits, including professors or online research papers. Here are some things that we would encourage you to think about. What are some key parameters? Develop some theory. Create some sort of experimental setup and make sure that you collect and analyze data. Don't forget to use that data as well as your theory to come to some conclusions. And it's always great to discuss what are some future improvements that you could see for this problem and your solutions. Make sure to check out the IPT website for example solutions to past year's problems. 17 problems sounds like a lot, but don't be discouraged. When your team registers for USPT, you'll get to decide on 5 problems to permanently reject. This means that no other team can ask you to present on these problems during the tournament. Keep in mind that up until the week of the tournament, you can change which 5 problems you permanently reject, so this takes some of that pressure off. It's okay to not know when you first filled the registration form. Just remember that it's only up until the week of the tournament. Once we get within that week, we're gonna close that down, all right? And you do that by going back and editing the registration form. On the day of the tournament, teams compete in what are called physics fights. Each fight involves 2 teams and consists of 2 stages. Both stages have the same structure, but the teams will swap roles for each stage. Notice that this is different from the official IPT rulebook, which details in-person tournaments, which have 3 stages in each physics fight. Each stage lasts about 2.5 hours and has 2 roles, the reporter and the opponent. The reporting team chooses someone from its team to be the reporter, and similarly for the opposing team and the opposer. During a physics fight, no team member can be both reporter and opposer. In other words, whoever is the reporter in stage 1 cannot be the opposer in stage 2. In-person tournaments also have a 3rd team, whose team member plays the role known as the reviewer. The 2020 USPT will not have this role because it's going to be virtual. To learn more about what exactly the reporter and the opposer are supposed to do, check out the rubric for USPT. Each stage starts with a problem proposal. The opposing team proposes a problem for the reporter to report on. The reporting team can then reject or accept the problem. The opposing team has to continue proposing problems until the reporting team finally accepts a problem. However, there is a catch. The reporting team can't just continually reject problems until they get one that they were hoping for. The reporting team can only reject up to 3 problems in each physics fight before their score multiplier is decreased. Those additional rejections are considered permanent and last throughout the rest of the tournament. We'll talk more about score multipliers later, but I just want to bring to your attention now that we've talked about 2 different types of rejections, permanent rejections and tactical rejections. So let's just review the difference one more time. You get 5 permanent rejections, which you decide when you fill out your registration form and which you can edit up until the week of the tournament. Any rejections that happen during a physics fight are considered tactical rejections, which means they only last for that fight. However, if the reporting team uses more than 3 tactical rejections, any additional rejections become considered permanent and last throughout the tournament. So think carefully, because while that can be good for your team, it can also be bad because your score multiplier will decrease, and we'll talk about that later. Once the reporter accepts a problem, they're given time to prepare and present their solution. Afterwards, the opponent, or opposer, however you'd like to call, is given time to ask clarifying questions, to which only the reporter can respond. The opponent then prepares and gives a little speech, followed by a discussion between the reporter and the opponent. The discussion is then opened up to all team members. It's important to note that any communication is allowed between team members during the preparation period. Silent communication is allowed during most of the stage, but no communication is allowed during the presentations themselves. After the reporter gives a quick conclusion, it's time for judging. The jury will ask questions to the reporter and opposer, decide and show marks, and provide feedback based on their scoring. Both positions are scored out of 10 points based on a rubric. The reporter score is multiplied by 3, and the opposer score is multiplied by 2. At the end of the fight, the team with the largest sum is the winner. Earlier, we mentioned a rejection penalty. Here's how it works. For every rejection after the first 3 in each stage of a physics fight, the reporter's score multiplier decreases by 0.2. This decrease follows the team for the rest of the physics fight and the rest of the tournament, not just that one physics fight. So think carefully before using an additional rejection. The stage ends with a break to document and tally scores, which will be announced after the physics fight concludes. So there you have it, the structure of this year's American Physicists Tournament. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or epiphanies, we would love to hear from you, so don't hesitate to send us an email. And we can't wait to see you in December.